All right, we're starting with the white pieces. It's good. D4, we'll play C4. And yeah, most people play the Nimzo here, but yeah, you can always transpose back. And would you look at that? This guy did. Knight takes. Okay, so we're over 2,000 now. I'm definitely expecting that people are gonna know a little bit more about this with knight takes and C5 and kind of playing it the way that you're really supposed to. But as he was spending time on that move, I was like disappointed. Unfortunately, this looks like it's just gonna be another very good position. C5, D5 maybe? Can also leave it, but D5 looks like it makes sense. Don't really want to take that. Okay. We do have a check, but don't really know what's happening after. There's also D6 as an idea, like check and D6. We have some moves here. And nothing really wins material, but there's a lot that like looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna keep it simple and just castle. Because bishop e7, we can play d6 and rook e1, so we'll get maybe something going here. If anything here. At least we can put the knight on a bad square. It's the best I could see. I didn't really see anything with like rook takes e6 or anything like that. Try to play knight c7 here. Okay. I mean, b2 is hanging, but gotta play this surely. This one. There's a knight b6 move that's kind of close by, about to be played. Let's try this. Maybe like knight takes, knight c4. We have a bishop pair and an extra pawn on d6. Might be a temporary extra pawn because we're probably going to lose b2, but I think we have a great position here. I definitely agree with that move. It does make some sense here. Should be winning position. Rook b7 was probably also winning, but knight c5, unnecessary to allow. I think just d7 next. Should be winning. Knight f6, bishop e5 as well. Just take that. We have our own checkmate coming. maybe you can still win. Maybe you can still win. Well, that's great. I'm glad we spent that time together at the end there. Could have ended so much sooner, but we really maximized our play date. People do not understand how to play this line. So far, nobody does, and we're now up to 2,000 in the series. Nobody knows how to do it. So, not ideal. Wouldn't recommend people play it. And it's just because after e4, like, even this, if you just maybe go like this, I don't know, play some other moves, it's not going to be a great position. I just have the whole center, supported by an extra pawn. It's great. And then even worse is to keep the knight on the board. We already just have a very, very good position here. So what ends up happening is the opponent just gets a very, very bad position right out of the gate here, even though this is like a top move that a lot of strong players play. Knight d5, it's a very good theoretical move, but you have to know how to play it. You can't just play it and then like make it up as you go along after e4. If you don't follow up the next couple moves exactly as you should, then okay, got the white pieces here. It is going to be d4, d5, so we can play the Queen's Gambit. We're going to start with knight c3. Okay, I'm expecting we're going to get a reasonably serious game here. And the reason I say that is because, and I'm going to take it as if our opponent played knight f6, I'm going to react the same way. The reason I say that is because a6 is a move that looks so strange, you'd never play it unless, you know, you kind of knew what you were doing. So I definitely expect that black knows a thing or two about this position. I think I'm going to go with queen f3 and maybe try to set up like this. Okay, queen g3. Okay, castled next. So definitely our, you know, one of our finer games from our opponents here, is no doubt about that. Okay, this is, I mean, yeah, usually it's the cue to bring the knight into the center. If a move like knight f8 is played, does make sense. Knight g6 will actually lose material, and because it loses material, let's force it to lose material. There you go. Oh, that's not going to help you, my friend. Well, what a shame. It's like this game finished even quicker than some of our other games, even though it was actually a good position up till a couple moves ago. This is a line I've seen a lot of top players play. Magnus has played this line before. A6. The idea is like, you're kind of just waiting for white to do something, because if you bring the knight out, then white can, you know, get the bishop there. And a lot of times white wants to play setups with knight ge2, and you know that because that's been a theme throughout a lot of the positions that we have played. But by black doing this, if we play knight f3, all of a sudden black can play these normal setups, and I don't have knight e2 as an option. Now it's not a big deal. You can play knight f3, is completely fine. But if black thinks that these setups are annoying, then this move can be kind of helpful. Maybe you can dodge them if all of a sudden I play knight f3. So against this one, it would basically, we're kind of playing the same as if this move happened. Our plan is to take and go here, e3, bishop d3. So we're playing the same way, except we don't have bishop g5 available, so I'm playing bishop f4. Bishop d6 loses the pawn, so black has to spend an extra move with c6, and then e3, and we've kind of seen this position before. After bishop d6, we can take it, or queen f3. I think they're both fine moves, and the game was quite even here. h3 would have been maybe a little nicer to avoid this, but in the end, he blundered big time. Knight f8 is probably not ideal, but still fine here. His real problem was queen c7, and I thought this was a problem. But this was the best opening we've seen in a long time. Even though game ended very quickly, this was definitely the a6 line. As soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, this guy definitely knows what he's doing in the opening. Oh man, I'm really getting punished for... Okay, here, maybe we can play Queen's Gambit still. Okay, we are playing a Queen's Gambit here. Ooh, yeah, you definitely never want to fianchetto. Like, I played a lot of Queen's Gambits. This structure, you never want to fianchetto against it. That's not what you want to do. We're gonna play h6, of course. Okay, so here I'm thinking we don't want to trade, mainly because g5 becomes an option here. So let's retreat. Yeah, he's got to be really careful here. g5 is now a fairly serious idea. So now we have g5 f6. So he's got to do something about that. Okay, he's not reacting to that at all, which means he's going to lose a piece. Something's got to give. Honestly, I think if this, I might even play rook here. Knight here looks pretty safe. Knight c4 was probably a better move because maybe it would get some trades in. Get the pre-move in. But this game, once again, is not very close. We're redeeming ourselves here. We got the Queen's Gambit, though. So a bit of a familiar position, but it's a good reminder. Why do we never fianchetto our bishop? It's the worst thing you can do against this pawn structure. You never want to have a bishop here. And sometimes the bishop's already there and this pawn structure happens. But in this case, the pawn structure was here first, so you never voluntarily do this. He could just play e3 and develop the bishop here. Would be much better. He's really having to think here. He must just be thinking. He's going to come up with a real good move here. Just hold on a sec. He's calculating every single variation. Give him time. Remember, there's still 5 seconds on the clock. That's like 50 pre-moves. You know, that's a good amount of time. Well, he calculated everything and he realized it was all forced loss. So once you've calculated everything, there's no move to make. Understandable. Can't hold it against him. Okay. And we got the white pieces again. D4, C4. Again, a lot of people can transpose back, but the most common is that we see the Nimzo. So let's play these Nimzo lines. C5. I think we're supposed to take. Bishop f4, rook d1. Should bring this rook to d1 here. Yeah, we can take. We can technically win the pawn. Doesn't feel great. Knight e4 is a big time threat right now. Oh. Yeah, there's queen g6 or queen f5. I mean, still looks like a fantastic move, but those moves, do they hold the position? It's just barely. It looks like this wins, but don't. Okay. Well, he thought it wins, so that's all that matters. He thought so. If we take here, we maintain the attack. It's hard to say what's more valuable because we also maintain castling privileges there. And let's go here. Rook takes, queen takes c8. Maybe g4 next. I assume he doesn't want to take it. Runs into some tactics. And it helps us develop, I guess. Okay. We can hit him with this one. And it's like we got castled. And what are we up? Queen for rook. Should be enough. The bishop here. We're guaranteed to get some kind of trades. I guess we'll go here. I didn't really like the idea of that capture. Bring the king up. He's kind of stuck. Like he doesn't have a lot he can do. Surprisingly annoying, actually. Surprisingly annoying. Let's take this. And what do we do now? Knight d4. Knight a5. Bit of a random fork there. I mean, two pieces that couldn't work together to defend themselves. We need a pass pawn. All we need is one pass pawn, and I feel like our position will be fine. b3 is definitely annoying for him. Might even be just losing. Let's see here. Because how do you... I don't know that you have a move here. Yeah, I would do that as well. Jeez. I think I am gonna give the H pawn. I don't feel. Oh no! Oh no! My pawn. I didn't see that. Because then now you should never play this. The reason I said that is because, well, I wanted a pass pawn, but he takes and you can come back and like, yeah. It's a bad move there, but We don't really have anything better than a draw, but that won't stop us from trying something. Okay, he's blundering all his pawns. He's not playing very well. This is exactly the winning position we want, but okay, just don't exactly know where he's gonna move, and we just have to pick the right checking square to guarantee we take the rook. It is winning here though. This was unfortunate. Looks like a really stellar move, because it's like, oh yeah, we want to have a pass pawn, but he can take one and then come back and take the other. All he really needs to do is like bring his rook here, and like the game is just done. I think we lose by force there because we don't have any checks. We got nothing. Like there's no way to even attack the position. But surprisingly, knight a5, everything's defended, no checks, 2 hanging pieces is kind of the worst move that you can play. Queen b6, sure. So very competitive game from, once again, a really bad opening. Allowing knight e4. Like I said, I didn't think it was a big deal because of these moves, but our opponent didn't play them, so we got a bit fortunate there. Queen f5 I think is the best. But yeah, we're not really playing a Queen's Gambit, more of a Nimzo here, although the positions are kind of similar. Main difference is queen on c2. We don't really have queen on c2 in the Queen's Gambit. Okay, d4. Doesn't look like we'll get a oh yeah, doesn't look like we'll get a Queen's Gambit here. Looks like we're playing a Benoni. Oh geez, relax, buddy. Relax. We just got hit with like a typhoon of moves. Okay, so he knows the first 9 moves of the opening like the back of his hand. But move 10 is the struggle. Guess we have to go back here. We're getting forked there. Taking here, like, we always have this bishop d2 move at the end, which allows us to defend our rook, because I know it looks like the rook on a1 is just hanging. This is definitely the variation that I would recommend against this opening. Just always, I always do so well with this. A lot of people play this line because it's like very sacrificial for black, but you're just completely cooked here. And at the end of the day, the material's back to even, but like we're basically getting mated here. Bishop g5, I suppose. Yeah, we can probably just play knight e4 against this. Let's make sure. Also f4 or g4, like just something to keep the queen there would also be good. We can also probably take it and find a way to be okay, but we don't need to. Yeah, I think knight e4 is the way to go here. Knight takes, bishop takes here. Threatens mate. So he has to take, and then bishop takes e4. Some sort of queen h7 or queen h8. Bishop takes e4 at the end of the line. Has to be good. There's also f4 to open things up there. So we could take first, or we could check first. I'm actually not sure if checking first is definitely the way to go, but I mean, there's no way it's going to be a mistake. I like f4 next. Looks like a very powerful move. Probably even now. So he can take. Yeah, we should just do this. This is just... Yeah, this is hanging, queen c6 is hanging, like the whole house is hanging. I'll take this. We still have this threat, we still have this threat, we have this threat. Okay, we are still playing. He's playing fast enough that it's like, it is possible. We won't have time to do the checkmate, so the best I can do is just set up the position here. Best we can do is set up the position. GG. I will say, I love this line. I do love this variation. I face this a lot. Obviously, we've, like, maybe if you're a d4 player, of course you've faced the Benoni. But this particular line with h3 and bishop d3, b5, the sacrifice that follows is knight e4. And then this idea of guarding the bishop, this is something I like saw with the engine, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or something. And I've just been using it ever since. It looks like a really tricky position, but you defend the bishop with knight g5, and it looks like after h6 you're just cooked because like everything's hanging. But knight e6, if bishop e6, I mean, this is just over. I've had this game a few times. GG, you lose an entire rook. And if they take with the pawn, it's like what happened in the game. Like, I'm threatening to do this and the whole game's gonna end. So you have to play e5. But like, the material's even here, and you've got absolutely everything falling apart on the king side. So it's just over. So definitely that variation in particular, I think, gets completely shut down by that idea, or at least black has to play it much differently. But I've been using this line, knight g5, knight e6, for 10 years, 10 plus years. Oh my god, it's just free low. Like, I've had a lot of OTB games that have happened that way, tons of blitz games, and it's just free. It is free. And the Benoni can be a very tricky opening. Even there, that line can be super tricky, but that knight g5, e6 idea really helps out. Okay. The white pieces beckon. And it looks like we're just, maybe we get a Grunfeld? No, we're just gonna get a King's Indian. I've been recommending in this series this system. I think it's pretty easy to play. So the whole point is basically to meet f5 with like takes and f4. At some point we'll play b3, a3, b4. He goes here, I think just g4 now. He can't, I mean, he can play it, but it's just not a good move. And otherwise it's a pretty big waste of time what he just did. f3, and now it's gonna be very hard for him to ever play the move f5 because we've just got so much firepower there. What's happening here? I guess he's gonna take, but it's very bad. We'll get rid of this knight. We have this nice knight e4 move, but I also like this. Rook to g1. Try to make a threat on the g file. That looks pretty good. Might try that. I'm not really sure where we want this piece. Maybe king here. I just feel like there's a world where we go knight e4 and like kind of get our puzzle rush to work. It's a nice feeling. Yeah, set it up from a while back. I'm a big fan of this big fan of this system. It's just simple, and I think it complements this Queen's Gambit speedrun nicely. You don't have to use it, but if you're playing d4 to play the Queen's Gambit for the speedrun, you're gonna have to play against other openings. We've faced like Benoni, you're gonna have to play against the Grunfeld, although we never faced that. Nobody plays that opening anymore. Feels bad, man. And then obviously the King's Indian, Nimzo, tons of openings. So if you play d4, you gotta be ready for it all. Okay, go d4 here, c4, and again, it can always transpose back to Queen's Gambit, but if you're playing this move order, I'm assuming that it's the Nimzo you're trying to play. b6, all right, I'll take the full center. Okay, we kind of have I think we have a very good good looking position here. Played a little bit too fast there. This one's just a blunder with queen a4. I'm so happy that we basically have our King's Indian setup, but we just have it like 10 times better. We can go here, we can go f4. Let's think, what's he gonna do next? I'm not sure. Let's try f4. Okay, let's definitely move this king out of the way. And this knight can maybe go to e3, f5, can go to g3. This move does not look correct. Okay. So we already have a pretty good position here. This doesn't really threaten anything at all, actually. This does allow this last move, but not our finest move there. Maybe this one makes sense. Knight d6, like trade a bunch of pieces, but I think I'll just start with this. Because now, unfortunately, this move wasn't the greatest. Queen over. We have knight d6 here, but I like this move. I'm definitely looking at the move g4. A little bit too much for right now, I think. Knight here, we're happy to take. This piece is really bad on a8. I think queen g3 next, or even g4. Yeah, with rook f5 here, I think our position is starting to look very good. It's 1, 2, 3 big threats. He doesn't stop the two biggest ones. GG. GG. We'll take that. I regretted not giving this check, which just wins a piece on the spot. So his opening was a very big disaster. But I was so focused because we just played a King's Indian game. It was the exact same setup. I was just autopiloting. And, well, it's a great move, of course, but we missed the opportunity to win the entire game right away. But what a beautiful position here. And although we didn't play perfectly, once we won the pawn, this pawn structure is just too good to mess up. You're actually not allowed to. It's in the handbook. You're not allowed to mess this position up. Nope. Can't do it. Much as you try, it just can't be done. Okay. Oh. The pre-move there. We're not going to play knight. So actually, we've seen an opening like this before. Is he going to play d5 right away? No. He's going to play knight e7 and d5 on the next move, I think. So let's see. How do we want to play against that? Like, the normal move here is h4, but I do know that black can sort of You can get the counterplay going against the center very, very quickly, actually. Not really sure how I want to play against this. All right, we'll bring all the boys up. C5. I wonder if it can be taken. It's a very loose position, this entire thing. This move is always available. Like, we have this, but I don't have a single piece developed. Sure. I don't know. I guess we're going here. There's no way he can trade queens, right? Here, there's takes rook e8, so let's not get too greedy. But I do think with long castle coming, e6, this should be crushing. This move, we have this, so we can probably just push whatever we want here. Just gotta be like a little careful. Kind of like this move, actually. So here we can play bishop d2. And I'm actually thinking of just sacking on f5. I think this is kind of a cool move, especially if this happens. This is really the move that's supposed to happen, I think. E6 looks cool, but I guess we'll do this. I thought bishop here for sure. There's no way out of this for black. E8 or takes, something's gonna happen. GG. GG Palo. Yeah, I've seen this a few times from people now. My opening probably wasn't the best, but I don't know. Just chuck 4 pawns up there. It's rare, but I do see this. And the idea being like, you just want to play d5 basically. And then when e5 happens, you like hit the center again with c5. You have like your bishop coming out. It's surprisingly effective, mainly because h4, h5 feels like it should be crushing, but actually can work out pretty well for black. Well done, you made it to the end of another episode in the Queen's Gambit speedrun. Make sure to like the video and leave a comment down below if you enjoyed. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss the next episode.